Good evening and welcome to the July 16th Council meeting. We have a very special presentation this evening of our flag. We are having Trail Life Troop 2678 lead our flag salute this evening with First Officer Chase Havenhill. I'd like to ask you all to stand for the presentation.
Color Guard, enter.
Color guard, halt. Color guard, left base.
Please remove your hat and place your right hand over your heart for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Color guard, and salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard, ready, to.
Color Guard, dismissed.
Color guard, right base. Color guard, forward, march.
Let's give them a hand. You may be seated. Next, we have a presentation for the retirement of Lieutenant Brian Cobble. It's with great honor and deep appreciation that we recognize Lieutenant Brian Cobble, who has announced his retirement from the Chino Police Department effective July 18th. I'd like to call up Brian and his family, if you'd please join me in front. Refuse. Lieutenant Cobble began his career with our police department on June 9th, 1997, after graduating from Fullerton Police Academy. Over the span of 27 years, he has served this community with dedication and excellence. Throughout his career, Lieutenant Cobble has held numerous key positions, including patrol officer, field training officer, POP officer, canine handler, and detective. His leadership qualities shone brightly as he ascended through the ranks, being promoted to corporal in 2006, sergeant in 2009, and finally to lieutenant in 2014. Brian's roles included service on the SWAT team as assistant team leader, 2 decades on the Honor Guard, and leadership positions such as traffic supervisor, canine sergeant, and explorer lieutenant. His capabilities extended to commanding the crisis negotiation team, further highlighting his versatility and commitment. Lieutenant Cobble's service record is adorned with numerous awards, including the Meritorious Award in 1998, several Excellence Award, unit citations, and chief's commendations. His professional development included graduating from the Supervisory Leadership Institute class number 314 in 2012 and the prestigious FBI National Academy class number 280 in 2021. Brian also dedicated his time to serve as a longtime board member and president of both the Chino Police Officers Association and the Chino Police Management Association, showing his commitment to not only his duty, but also to his colleagues. Lieutenant Cobble, I want to thank you for your 27 years of unwavering service and commitment to the Chino Police Department and our community. I'd also like to present you with a city tile, which is so special, right? Yes. And it reads, the Chino City Council, on behalf of the citizens of Chino, wish to express their appreciation for your 27 years of dedicated service to the city of Chino and its residents. Brian, there's part of me that wants to tell you cannot retire. He has been so special. I've known this gentleman ever since you started here. And here you get to retire.
I wasn't going to say that.
You weren't going to say that? Yeah, he was. I get teased a lot. Brian, introduce your family, please.
I have my beautiful wife, Letty, my oldest son, Kyle, my son, Chris, my daughter, Faith, my daughter Alyssa, my son Matthew, Christopher's girlfriend Lauren, and Alyssa's boyfriend Ryan, who's also a cadet with our department.
Great. Go ahead.
Oh, I got to speak some more too? Well, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, city staff. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve this community for the last 27 years. I couldn't have picked a better place to work. We are filled with the finest men and women in law enforcement across the country. Having been through that FBI National Academy, you see people in law enforcement from across the world. So it's not something I just say lightly. We are filled with the best men and women in law enforcement here. We're also blessed to work for one of the most supportive communities in the nation. Not everybody has it as lucky as we do. So thank you to everybody that's here and everybody watching. It's been a pleasure to serve you guys for 27 years, but I think it's time to move forward and spend some quality time with these folks here.
We're going to miss you. Brian has been one of the best police officers I think I've known in my life. And he's truly a gentleman, really cares about the community. You can always trust him. You can always count on him. And we're going to miss you. I just hope that the young people coming up realize they have big shoes to fill.
They're well equipped.
They're well equipped? Well, we hope so. We're holding the chief to it. Brian, congratulations on your retirement, and I'm sure your family's going to enjoy seeing you more. But you know, if you get bored or if there's too many honeydews, you know you can always come back.
I'll still be around. I'm still in Kiwanis.
That's good. Still in Kiwanis. We're still going to have him around. Let's give him a big hand. And then his walk of honor is Thursday morning, 7:30. So if any members of the 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock. So if any members of the public would like to see a very, very moving ceremony, please come to the PD Thursday morning at 8 o'clock, because it's incredible.
Thank you.
Right? Bye.
Thanks, Chief. Love you too.
Okay, next we have another retirement recognition. This time it's Community Services Parks and Recreation Specialist Marianne Brown. Tonight we also pay tribute to another exceptional member of our team, Marianne Brown, who is retiring after 29 years of outstanding service to the city of Chino. I'd like to call up Marianne and your family to join us. Just one. Marianne began her career in 1995 as a community services specialist, dedicated to the Positive Action for Life Success, or called PALS, and Special Friends program. Throughout her years, she has played a crucial role in assisting children from the Chino Valley Unified School District in kindergarten through third grade, helping them develop essential behavioral and social skills. After the PALS program grant ended in 2014, Marianne continued to make significant contributions through various programs such as Creative Young Chefs, SOAR, High Five After School Special Events, and Tiny Tots. Her flexibility and dedication to serving wherever she was needed are a testament to her character and commitment. In 2019, when PALS program was reinstated, Marianne was instrumental in developing its curriculum and excelled as a model PALS specialist. Her efforts have always embodied exceptional customer service and a deep pride in her work, positively reflecting the image of the city. Marianne, your nearly 3 decades of service have been invaluable. You've been a pillar in our community services, parks, and recreation department, and your dedication to providing quality services to the residents of Chino has left a lasting impression. As you step into the next exciting chapter of your life, please know that your legacy here will continue to inspire us all. You will be deeply missed, and we wish you all the best in your well-deserved retirement. And of course, we have the coveted city tile to present to you, don't shoot me. Honoring your years of service. Do you ever get tongue-tied on words?
Yes, that's okay.
Okay, your turn to tile. And please introduce your husband.
Hi, this is my husband, David Brown. I just want to thank the city for believing in a program that was actually dead, but the city knew we needed this, and I just applaud every one of you who ever voted for the city, with the city to bring PALS back. I'm going to miss it. The other morning I got up to start ordering things on Amazon and realizing, delete that order, I don't need it. And that was a little sad. But again, thank you guys so much.
Well, you too, if you get bored at home.
Well, I've already filled out my volunteer form.
Oh, cool. So you're still going to be around. Well, Mary Ann, thank you for your service. It's people like you that make our community so special and make our residents feel very special too. Mr. Brown, thank you for supporting her in all those years. Let's give her a hand. Happy retirement.
Thank you. I owe this back to you.
Yes, yes. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to have a general plan outreach recognition. I'd like to call up Michael Hitz, our principal planner with the City of Chino, and Rosie Richardson, an associate with VMA Communications. Michael?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening. Yes, so we are kind of in the middle of updating our general plan. We're calling it the 2045 general plan. General plan is sort of the guidebook for the city and how we want to see things happen in the next 20 years. Part of that, we did a lot of public outreach, including recognizing we had some youth-led participation that you'll see in a minute that helped us kind of start that selection process on how we're going to update the general plan. I do want to do one small plug. We are going to have a joint Planning Commission and City Council workshop on July 30th in the Senior Center on July 30th at 4 p.m. So if you want to come out, we appreciate your feedback and come out and hear what we're going to do. It's really exciting stuff. I do have Rosie here. She's one of our part of our consultant team who work directly with the youth. So I'll let her do her part.
Good evening, everyone. So we formed the General Plan Outreach, Youth-Led Outreach Program, and I would just like to start off by saying Chino has a lot of great youth in this community. And the point of the program was to get the feedback from the youth about what direction do you want to see the city of Chino go in the next 20 to 30 years. So these students participated in Zoom meetings where they learned about community engagement, they learned how to deal with community issues, and once we gave them the tools that they needed, they went out and spoke with community members. They got firsthand experience and they made videos and were able to have these one-on-one conversations with people about where they would like to see their community go. So today we're here to recognize those students and all of their hard work and just really applaud them for their student leadership and what they've done to make a difference in their community. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and show the montage that we've created that shows some clips of their hard work. Thank you.
I love the supportive staff and the staff that help with the team.
What I love about Chino is the sense of community that everyone has and all the combinations of different cultures.
What is one thing in Chino you would like to see in the next 40 years?
More parks. More places for people to socialize, like the teen center, but for adults and older, or maybe for younger, and maybe redoing some of the areas. This teen center is a really fun place for teens to come together, but just to redo it and make it more current with today's times would be really cool.
I would want to see more hikes. There's only one that I currently know of, and that's the one in Chino Hills. Any other trails around this area would be really fun.
The older shopping centers, I'd love to see them given a facelift and revitalized and bring in some more shops just to help out the community and bring in more small businesses.
Transportation system, like maybe like a dial-a-ride. We used to have that when I was a kid, so that teenagers and adults that don't drive can, for like 50 cents, get a ride somewhere in the city.
would like to see more new construction, whether it be warehouses or businesses or homes, utilize or be required to be built with solar.
Some ideas I have for Chino 2045 include an art district where locals can show off their art at an art gallery, or a performing arts center where people are able to expand their imagination and develop their own voice. I also believe it would benefit the city of Chino if a stadium for sports or concerts were added, as it could bring in tourists to Chino for the different events held at this stadium. Thank you for listening to my ideas.
Well, let's go ahead and give them a round of applause. I think that was some great work. And with that being said, we would like to recognize the students that participated, and if we can go ahead and how we're recognizing, sorry, I'm just going to leave this right here. How we're recognizing them today is we are giving them a certificate, and they are receiving a $100 gift card to Target. So the first participant is Julie Santos Escobar. Congratulations.
Stay up here, Julie.
Yes. And next up, we have Madison Reynolds. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. And we have Hannah Finkbeyer. And next we have Ximena Lugo. Thank you. And next we have Kendall Badrias. Thank you. Enrico Hernandez. Right? Thank you. And we did have one student that wasn't able to make it here today because she was out of state, but we do want to recognize her for her hard work also, and she will also be recognized at a later time. So thank you. And can we have all the students come this way and so we can take a picture with the mayor? That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, the next presentation is going to be a lot of fun. I'd like to call up Chief Dave Williams and Battalion Chief Greg Gable. We have new firefighters, and they're going to introduce all of you guys to the community.
I'm going to let Chief Gable take this one.
You're too shy?
I'm too shy.
You're shy.
That's one thing he's not.
I know.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council, staff, community members. Becoming a firefighter or paramedic is no small feat. It requires rigorous training, unwavering determination, and a deep-seated passion for helping others. Each of these recruits have undergone extensive education, hands-on training to prepare them for the challenges and responsibilities of the profession. However, their journey does not end here. They have entered a one-year probationary period as part of their integration into our fire department. This probationary period is a critical phase in their careers, serving as both a continuation of their education and a thorough assessment of their capabilities. During this year, our probationary firefighter paramedics will be closely mentored and supervised by seasoned veterans. They will face a variety of scenarios designed to test their skills, knowledge, and ability to perform under pressure. These include emergency medical response, firefighting techniques, rescue operations, and community outreach. The purpose of this period is twofold. First, it ensures that our recruits meet the highest standards of excellence and professionalism that the Chino Valley Fire District is known for. Secondarily, it allows them to learn and grow within a supportive environment, honing their abilities and building confidence in their roles. Throughout this year, their performance will be continuously evaluated. Regular feedback sessions will be conducted to discuss their progress, address any areas of improvement, and recognize their achievements. This structured approach not only helps them develop, but also reinforces the values and practices that are essential to our district. A comprehensive review will be conducted at the end of the probationary period. This review, will consider their performance in various aspects of their duties, their ability to work as part of a team, and their overall contribution to the department and the community as a whole. Only those who have demonstrated exceptional competence and dedication will be granted full status as Chino Valley firefighter paramedics. We are confident that our recruits will rise and exceed our expectations. Their commitment to serving the Chino Valley with faithfulness, integrity, respect, and excellence is evident, and we are excited to support them in this journey. It is my honor to stand before you today to introduce the newest members of our firefighting family. These individuals have demonstrated exceptional dedication, courage, and a commitment to serving our community. Please join me in welcoming our new firefighter paramedics. Jacob Arnett. Jake lives in Newport Beach, comes from a large family. Before joining the Chino Valley Fire District, Jake worked at AMR Redlands. He enjoys snow and water skiing, photography, running, cooking. During the summer, you will find him going to Lake Powell for houseboating trips, but not until after probation in 2025. Following will be Saul Cuevas. Saul lives in San Marcos, Texas, with his wife, 3 kids, and grandchild. Before joining the CVFD, he worked at Travis County EMS in Austin, Texas. Saul enjoys spending time with his family, playing sports, coaching his children's teams. However, he's busy studying for his next test. Dylan Darrow. Dylan lives in Santa Ana, but originally grew up in Needles, where his parents still reside. Before joining us, he worked at Baker EMS, AMR Redlands, and San Bernardino County Fire. Dylan enjoys going to the gym, traveling, hiking, going to the beach to surf, and spending time by the river after probation. Dylan is a certified strength and conditioning specialist and possesses a kinesiology degree from Cal State San Bernardino. Dylan is currently engaged to his fiancée. Next, Dylan Heckel. Dylan lives in Irvine and has many family members in the Orange County area. Before joining us, he worked as a firefighter at the University Fire Department in Fairbanks, Alaska, and as a paramedic for AMR Riverside. Dylan loves all types of movies, TV shows, and video games. He enjoys spending time with his family, friends, and girlfriend. Some hobbies include traveling, hiking, exercising, and playing tennis, but after probation. Yeah, everything's after probation, in case you haven't noticed. Addison Hempstead. Addison lives in Huntington Beach, while his family lives in Northern California. Before joining us, he worked at AMR Riverside. Addison loves playing all kinds of sports, especially beach sports, and enjoys hiking in his free time, but does not have much of that right now. After probation. He also has a background in wrestling and a passion for staying active and fit, and does not have a square jaw, as you could tell. Ryan Pierce. Ryan lives in Covina, California. Before joining us, he worked at Livingston Fire and Rescue in Montana near Yellowstone National Park. Ryan loves spending time in the great outdoors, trail running, hiking, camping, and hunting, but will enjoy it more after probation. And he has a twin sister he's very close to. And finally, Nicholas Truelove. Nicholas lives in Costa Mesa with his wife, Delaney. Before joining us, he worked at the Montebello Fire Department. Before the Fire Academy, Nick loved hanging out with friends, mountain biking, going to the beach, and trying new foods. He will resume those things after probation. He will be even busier in August as Nick and his wife are expecting their first child. In conclusion, we would like to express our gratitude to the City Council, the community, for your continued support of our beloved fire district. Your trust and confidence enables us to provide our residents with the highest level of service and protection. Thank you.
Well, we want to welcome you all to the family of Chino. I think you'll discover that this is an unusual place, and I think you're going to really enjoy being here. We have an unusual relationship between fire and police that, from what I understand, is not common. And I think you're going to really enjoy working with our cops. So welcome aboard, and I hope you love our community as much as we do. She wants a picture. Let's give them another hand. Welcome aboard. Okay, prior to our meeting starting, we did have a closed session. I'd like to ask our attorney to give us a report out of that meeting.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council, and all those present. The City Council met in closed session as announced by the mayor and held a discussion as to the following items listed on the closed session portion of the agenda, with the first item being conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation under the heading significant exposure to litigation. City Council received a briefing and no further reportable action was taken. Item number 2, public employee performance evaluation, title City Manager. City Council performed the evaluation of the city manager, provided feedback, and no further reportable action was taken. And finally, on item number 3, conference with labor negotiator concerning the unrepresented employee city manager. The City Council held a discussion, and following that discussion, by motion of Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, seconded by Councilmember Burton and carried unanimously 5-0. The City Council approved the following changes to City Manager Linda Reich's contract. Number 1, to comport with the salary increases previously approved by the City Council for other city employees in the last 2 years for 6, 12, and 24 months of employment, totaling 15%, the City Council approved an increase of 15% to the city manager's salary to total $348,160. Number 2, the City Council authorized an increase to the severance rights should she be terminated without cause, so that her current severance of 6 months will increase to 7.5 months as of August 2024, and then to 9 months as of August 2025. Number 3, the council also authorized the city manager's ability to cash out 15.5 hours of holiday time. And number 4, finally, the council approved a change in the city manager's schedule so that her workday would be inclusive of a lunch break. All the changes will be effective beginning on August 8th, 2024, which corresponds with your city manager's 2-year anniversary of her employment contract. And the contract will be presented as a receive item at the next regular meeting in September. And that concludes the announcement of the closed session items.
Thank you. Assistant City Manager Melendez, do we have any agenda additions or revisions?
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. We have no additions or revisions to the agenda at this time.
Okay, thank you. Within our packet is the external agency report. I encourage all of you to access that online and read it. There's some very interesting information in it. Next, under public announcements, under Summer Nights and Chino Kiwanis Summer Concerts. This week, we invite you to join some of our favorite summer events, Summer Nights and the Chino Kiwanis Club Summer Concerts, all taking place on the City Hall lawn, located here at 13220 Central Avenue. On Thursday, July 18th, enjoy a performance by No Duh, a No Doubt tribute band. The fun continues next Friday, July 26th, for the final concert of the season at Founders Park in the Preserve, located at 8151 West Preserve Loop, with Britain's finest Beatles tribute. Each concert begins at 7:00 p.m. This Friday, gather your family, grab some popcorn, and join us for Disney Pixar's Elemental. Next Friday, July 26th, Wonka, and a special presentation right before the movie begins unveiling the city's new utility art box program. This innovative project transforms utility boxes into canvases, enhancing our neighborhoods with visual stories. The first phase of boxes include art from the winners of the Chino Days art contest. Activities start at 6:30 p.m. and the film begins at dusk. For more information, please visit cityofchino.org/events. I'd also like to invite you to National Night Out, a nationwide event that promotes community building and strengthens our bond between neighbors and law enforcement. Chino will be hosting its own National Night Out on Tuesday, August 6th from 5 to 8 p.m. Chino police officers and the Chino Valley firefighters will be visiting several registered neighborhoods throughout the city, spending approximately 30 minutes at each event to socialize with neighbors and give away goodies. The Chino City Council, including myself and my fellow council members, will also be joining the community and visiting several neighborhoods. For questions about this event, please call 909-334-3217. In order to fully commit to this important community gathering, we decided to cancel the council meeting, that was originally scheduled for August 6th, and we will also remain dark for the second council meeting on August 20th. Our next regular city council meeting will take place on Tuesday, September 3rd. And finally, I want to give early notification that City Hall will be closed on Monday, September 2nd, in observation of Labor Day. City Hall will reopen the following day, September 3rd, at its regular operating hours of 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., followed by our City Council meeting that evening at 6 p.m. Next on our agenda is public communication. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the council on items that do not appear elsewhere. Our first written request to speak is Pastor Michael Tafoya from the Living Word Assembly. Now, he's going to lead us in a word of prayer, so I invite all of you to stand if you would like to join us.
Let's pray. Father, we pray that your kingdom would come in Chino as it is in heaven through your power working in each of these, your servants. May your truth be revealed. May your light shine brighter. May the voices of those silenced be heard loud and clear. Defend their cause, O God, through this governing body tonight. We pray for wisdom. We pray for strength, for courage to do what is right and good for all citizens. May we put the interests of others above our own. May we act with love for the common good. May we be good neighbors, recognizing your image in every person here. We thank you again for this council. We thank you for our mayor, our city staff, our first responders, our hospital staff, and all those who work to make this place we call Chino such a wonderful city. It is in Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Michael. Next, Donna Marchese, feral cat neutering.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I'm going to follow Eunice's lead and read my notes. I want to introduce myself as one of the members of our feral cat catching group called Feral Cat Friends, who you met last September the 5th. Jackie Melendez helped us get a list of veterinarians so that we could get some support in our neutering efforts, and it worked out well for us. Dr. Choi of Francis Animal Hospital has agreed to help us neuter males, and he has done, today I picked up 37, tomorrow I drop off 38, free cat neuterings. So I would like the city to please, if you could drop him a line, tell him what you think of him, how great he is. I found out today that guy's 76 years old. He works a full day, six days a week.
He's just a kid.
So, we found some other members. We went out, Terry Carver and myself, and we posted flyers at feeding stations, and that's how we found other TNR people. And we got our little group. I think we're up to about 10 now. Sinclair Andruska, I believe that's her, did an article for us February 24th, so we got some notoriety. I ran into a lady at Inland Valley Humane Society today that has the article, and she's been trying to get hold of us, so we're going to try to help her. April the 1st, we received a $500 check, which Councilman Flores granted to us, and you guys approved. That went to Inland Valley Humane Society into an account for our credit. And at $35 per cat, they've helped us help 14 people neuter cats. Wow. So instead of charging them the $70, we charge $35 thanks to you people. So Inland Valley Humane Society has worked with us very well. Nicole's got her people working with us. We're in an unusual situation for them. They have one other group that is a rescue. So we would see the gal come, unload the van with cats, and walk in. We are different in that not one person comes. We don't know who's trapping at night. We don't know who's getting lucky. We don't know who needs to go on Tuesday and Thursday. So we have worked with them over a few months to get a system in place where they let us bring in a few more cats if they have a little more space than everybody else gets to bring in. So it'd be nice if you could give them a shout out too and tell them thank you. This is kind of how we operate. The client pays full price, $70 Inland Valley Humane Society, $85 Ontario Spay and Neuter if they can afford it. If they can't, we try to get them a reduced fee, and we get vouchers from Actors and Others and the money that you've got. And as we get some donations, then we're going to try to pitch in a little and cut the costs a little bit. So Actors and Others, it'd be nice if you could send them a little note and tell them there's a ton of people at Ontario Spay and Neuter, and everybody's getting vouchers from Actors and Others, and it helps a lot. We're following the Habitat for Humanity theory. You're going to put some sweat equity into this. If you can't pay the whole thing, we'll try to get you to a discount, but you have to put something into getting these cats fixed because we're doing all the work. We're showing up at your house at night. We're bringing our equipment. We're doing all our expertise. We're getting up the next morning, dropping them off at vets, going back in the afternoon and picking them up again. So we expect somebody to put something in, if you can just even put a little bit in. So, so far we figure, since we met you last September, we've done over 200 cats. And if everybody I talk to says the same thing Nicole does, it doesn't seem like it's making a dent. I just found two ladies up the street from me that Larry Dalma said, have you seen all those cats? And I said, yeah. So we went up there, and they got 25 cats and about 15 little kittens. Oh, my gosh. I ran into a lady today at Inland Valley, and she needs help. Everybody, there's so many people that need help, and they call shelters and rescues, and nobody says we can do, or this is where you need to go. So that's where we come in. So if you could recognize Francis Animal Hospital, the Humane Society, they really are working with us best they can, and Actors and Others. So if anybody needs some help on a feral colony and you don't know what to do or how to do it, give us a jingle at Feral Cat Friends 2024 Chino at gmail.com.
Donna, you mentioned male cats is Francis Avenue, or Francis Animal Hospital. Are they only neutering the males?
That's the easiest fix there is out there, so he'll do 3 a week for us. If
Okay.
we can catch 3 a week.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
No. The girls are harder.
Well, it's more
Yeah, so
complicated.
that's an easy one, and yeah.
So it's Feral Cat Friends 2024 at 2024 Chino at gmail.com.
Yes, I don't know why she made it that way. Feral Cat Friends, plural, 2024, chino@gmail.com.
Okay, thank you, Donna.
And another quick slide in real quick, if you're gonna go in cahoots with somebody to build an animal shelter, I would love for you to talk to the people at Best Friends. Are you guys familiar with Best Friends? Best Friends Animals out of Kanab, Utah. They were the people that pushed the no-kill. They have been pushing no-kill since the 80s or something, I don't know. Wonderful group. I went to one of their seminars once, and the guy said, if you want to build a bigger, better shelter, you're doing it wrong. The idea is to get them in, get them healthy, get them socializing, get them out moving, not just keep adding on.
Can you provide that information to Jackie?
Yes, will do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next written request to speak is Rosemary, is it D? Yeah. Okay, Rosemary D, Feral Cats again.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and council members. I am here to speak on behalf of the Feral Cats. I just want to give them just amazing kudos for what they have been doing. They came to my aid with an issue I was having with some feral cats. Unfortunately, they seemed to find me, and I can't say no to an animal in need. I had a female cat come to me pregnant 3 times. And unfortunately, she lost 1 litter. We can't find it. She did have 2. But I went to several people. I went to the Humane Society. I reached out to different, just different organizations that said they were there to help, animals in need, and nobody responded to me. I, by chance, per my aunt, she saw a ad or a article on Facebook regarding these 2 lovely ladies, Miss Donna and Miss Terry, who have been working with me. And I reached out to them, and within a half an hour of me texting, they were on the phone with me. And they came by that weekend, and within a few days, I had almost all of the ferals that had shown up fixed, which was a big relief. I was able to find some homes for a few of the kittens, and I'm still working to try to find some homes for other ones. But please support this community effort, because these poor animals out there are suffering. If we don't help them, a lot of people think they're nuisances. They're not. They're just trying to make a way. It's not their fault. They were born like this. So I asked for, give kudos to the Humane Society for helping, Francis Animal, who have also helped. So I just want to say thank you to all of them, and for you as well for listening to us and helping us all out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rosemary. Those are the only written requests to speak that I have. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council on an item that's not on the agenda? Michael?
Good evening, Mayor, council members, Chino Police Department. I want to speak today on the safety of swimming. A couple weeks ago, I read an article that somebody had drowned. Can't be very specific, but I guess wanted to speak on having an eye for safety of swimming, because it's summertime right now and everybody goes swimming. And when I take my kids swimming, I cut my phone off, as the mayor told me to. I literally cut my phone off, and I sit in the chair and I watch all the kids swim, and I watch the adults too, because the adult can have an issue too. And a lot of times I walk around, and I ask the kids, "You guys okay? Y'all need any help?" And they respond, "We okay, we okay." And not only that, I actually ask them, "Hey, look, if you have any issues, your muscles hurting, let somebody know and get out the pool. That way it's so much better for you to sit down. That way we won't have no issues and everything." Kids drown all the time. They do. It's very normal as well. It's facts. So what I do, I have an eye for the kids and the adults to keep the safety of swimming. I take my kids swimming every Sunday. I make sure that they got the proper gear. I even actually check for the life jacket sometime, make sure they properly work and they tied up and everything. And I wanted to speak about cats. You guys know I love cats. Oh, wow. That's my heart. I love animals. I love animals. And I live at 5819, and we got cats everywhere. They run around all night. And I hate to say it, I feed them. I feed the cats. And they follow me too. They know they follow me. So it is a very issue that the cats do need to be neutered and everything. I will understand that. I do. I'm against animal cruelty. So if I see it, I actually report it. It's not fair to be kicking on cats and everything. And sometimes I have to talk to the neighbors like, no, don't do that. Not in front of me. I'm gonna say something to you and everything. And I want to send a shout out to Chino Police Department for being very professional in the community. Very professional. I like you guys' leadership. It is very superb and everything. And you guys got my support. I'm here for y'all. Captain, good work. I read your stuff. And I went to the retirement party, and I was in tears. I said, this is good right here. This is good. This man that spent 20-something years supporting the community and really taking care of Chino, California. And thank you for that. Thank you. And Mayor, good leadership, all you guys. I respect you guys to the fullest. You guys got a good leadership, and it shows. It's there and everything. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Michael. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to address the council on an item that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, then we'll move on to the consent calendar. We are pulling item number 8 for separate action. If there are no other items to be pulled or any questions, that I would entertain a motion and a second. Okay, there's a motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, second from Councilman Burton. Please vote. And the consent calendar passes unanimously. Item number 8 is the Department of California Highway Patrol Cannabis Tax Fund Grant Program. Councilman Burton asked that this be pulled. Curtis, would you like a full report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I think it's very important at this point in time that the community understand exactly what this grant is and what our police department is providing to our residents of our community. So thank you.
Okay, Chief and Lieutenant.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We're going to have Lieutenant Olden's going to provide the staff report on this grant.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the council. On June 6, 2024, the Chino Police Department received notification that the California Highway Patrol has approved the Chino Police Department for the Cannabis Tax Fund Grant Program, which will award us $110,153.08. This grant aims to help the city of Chino mitigate the impacts of impaired driving within our community. These funds will enhance the Chino Police Department's efforts to educate residents about the dangers of impaired driving using innovative methods and tools. Despite ongoing efforts, impaired driving remains a significant concern in Chino, as we recorded 263 DUI arrests in 2023. 16 of those arrests were for individuals under the age of 21. The grant period spans 1 year, aligning with the city's fiscal year. The money from this grant fund will go towards the purchase of a cargo trailer with custom graphics and a generator to serve as a mobile education center, 2 full-size console driving simulators to simulate impaired driving scenarios, simulated drunk and cannabis goggles for educational activities specifically targeting our youth, and adult-sized pedal cars for outdoor demonstrations, as well as a printing budget for printed educational materials. The police department will utilize these funds to engage with the community members at various city events, such as Chino Days, our police department open houses, our concerts in the park, our Christmas parade, and as everybody knows, our amazing fireworks spectacular, which we all know draws several thousand people every year. And lastly, our Healthy Chino family events. The additional resources provided by this grant have the potential to significantly enhance our community outreach efforts and in turn, reduce injury and fatal collisions caused by impaired driving. And this is a hopeful step forward, hopeful step towards a safer Chino. We ask the City Council adopt resolution number 2024-036 and accept the Cannabis Tax Fund Grant Program and the acceptance of the grant proceeds in the amount of $110,153.08. Thank you for your time, and I'm prepared to answer any questions that you may have.
Kurt, did you want to bring up anything?
No, I just wanted to say thank you very much to our police department. I'm continually impressed with your driving commitment to excellence, Lieutenant. You do an amazing job to bring this education to our community, to highlight programs like this, and to seek out the grants that are out there that we need, again, to educate our youth and our community as a whole. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Okay, with that, I would need a motion and a second to approve item number 8. There's a motion from Councilman Flores, second from Councilman Burton. Please vote. The item passes unanimously. Next, under the agenda, under public hearings, we have item number 18, Landscape and Streetlight Maintenance District Assessment for fiscal year 24-25. This item is to conduct a public hearing and adopt resolution number 2024-035, directing the city clerk to file a certified copy of the diagram and assessments with the county auditor, controller, recorder. I'd like to declare the public hearing open and ask for a staff report from our Assistant Public Works Services Manager, Keith Martinez, and our Director of Public Works, Hyden Lee.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. The city formed 6 landscape and streetlight maintenance assessment districts under authority of the Landscaping and Lighting Act 1972 and the California Streets and Highways Code. The districts are as follows: 75-1, 75-2, 76-1, 76-2, 83-2, and 2002-1. Each year, City Council reviews these districts and holds a public hearing to set the assessment rates. Of the 6 districts, only District 2002-1 has a consumer price index escalator, which allows the city to adjust the assessment rates for fiscal year 24-25. With a current CPI of 2.88%, calculated by identifying the percentage difference between the January 2023 and January 2024 CPI monthly index, revenues will increase accordingly for District 2002-1. As listed in Exhibit 1 of the report, there are certain zones in the remaining 5 districts that have an increase of only 5% or less because these zones have not been assessed their maximum allowable rates since they were annexed. This will help reduce the city's subsidy amount. The July 2nd, 2024 council meeting, the City Council approved 3 resolutions, which approved the engineer's report, declared the city's intention to order improvements, and schedule a public hearing for today. Public hearing is required as part of the process to levy the annual assessments and provide the opportunity for all interested persons to comment on the matter. Therefore, staff recommends conducting the public hearing tonight to adopt Resolution 2024-035, confirming these assessments and directing the city clerk to file a certified copy of the diagram and assessments to the county auditing controller. This concludes my report, and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have, or the city consultant, Webb Municipal Finance.
Address the council on this item. Okay, seeing none, then we'll close the public hearing. Turn it over to council comments. Any council questions or comments? No? Then I would entertain a motion in a second, please. Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, second from Councilman Flores. Please vote. And the item passes unanimously. Next, under new business, good heavens, new business. Item number 19, award of contract, Bright Life Designs LLC, Huntington Beach, California, for the rental of a Christmas City Hall holiday lighting and decorations. This item is to award a contract to Bright Life Designs LLC, Huntington Beach, California, for $129,928.50 for the rental of a City Hall holiday tree lighting and decorations. Once again, our staff report will be provided by our Assistant Public Works Services Manager, Keith Martinez, and our Director of Public Works, Hyden Lee.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. Every year, the city holds an annual tree lighting ceremony in December, providing an opportunity for the Chino community to gather together to illuminate the Civic Center City Hall tree. In past years, city staff has strung lights on an existing pine tree located in front of City Hall to prepare for the event. Unfortunately, this pine tree had to be removed due to disease, leaving staff with the only option to utilize an adjacent tree in front of City Hall. Upon attempting to string the lights on the adjacent tree, safety cables were required to stabilize the top of the tree, which city staff determined to be a safety concern as the cables could weaken and snap during high wind advisories. To address these concerns, in 2023, staff followed the city's informal bidding process and obtained 3 quotes to rent a 32-foot artificial tree for the 2023 tree lighting ceremony that also included City Hall lawn photo opportunities for residents, which turned out to be a huge success. Given the positive feedback and increased turnout at last year's event, city staff elected solicit a request for a proposal, an RFP, to explore additional options that could be offered to the community. Soliciting an RFP allows city staff to consider different tree sizes, review purchasing options versus rental options, and evaluate any photographic options to be included, ensuring the continued success of the tree lighting ceremony. On May 2nd, 2024, the city solicited a request for proposal on Planet Bids for the purchase/rental of City Hall holiday tree lighting and decorations. On July 10th, 2024, the city received 5 proposals which were evaluated and ranked accordingly. Upon reviewing the proposals, staff determined that renting an artificial tree rather than purchasing one would be the best option for the city. The slide shown reflects the total annual cost for renting a 48-foot artificial tree with a star topper, lighting and ornament decorations, photograph displays, frames for pictures, and lighted garland for the City Hall lawn light poles. An artificial tree will be updated annually to ensure it remains in pristine condition, showing no signs of wear and tear. Additionally, the city will not be responsible for storing the tree and decorations after the contract expires. The decorations and photo opportunities can be substituted after the first few years within the life of the contract to better meet the community's preferences. After thorough evaluation, staff recommends going with Bright Life Designs, LLC, Huntington Beach, California, the second-ranked vendor on the list. Bright Life Designs, LLC's proposal is comparable and achieves the same objectives as proposed by the first-ranked vendor, Clippa, LLC, which includes an annual cost of $129,928.50 for a 48-foot tree rental and photo displays for a max term of 5 years. The fixed annual cost provides the city confirmation it will not incur any annual price increases during this time. Therefore, the city staff recommends an appropriation of $129,928.50 from the general fund reserves with a corresponding increase to the Civic Center Program Fund in the same amount. Award of contract is for a 1-year term with the option to renew with 4 one-year term extensions to Bright Life Designs, LLC, Huntington Beach, California, in the amount of $129,928.50 for the rental of a City Hall holiday tree, lighting and decorations, and authorize the city manager to execute the necessary documents on behalf of the city. This concludes my presentation. I'll be answering any questions the council may have.
Any questions of staff or comments? Keith, I noticed there's a listing of the various items that are going to be provided. I don't know what page it's on. But in addition to the tree, there will be the photo op type displays that we had last time.
Correct. We had 5 last year. We'll increase that to 7 this year. And they are interchangeable upon our preference. Okay. So it depends on what the community likes, or if they prefer, we can change them out.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, then I would entertain a motion in a second. I know the community seemed to really enjoy the new decorations, and I think people were out on City Hall lawn every night taking pictures, which was nice.
Mayor, if I may add, before Brian Cobble retired, he did confide in me that he would really like to see a 48-foot tree on the City Hall lawn. He won't admit it, but just want to let you know that.
Is he gonna pay for it?
He said CalPERS hasn't kicked in yet.
Oh, you can send him a bill. All right. Okay, there's a motion from Councilman Flores. Still need a second. And a second from Councilman Lucio. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Item number 20, West End Animal Services Joint Powers Authority Agreement with the City of Ontario. This item is to approve a joint exercise of powers agreement establishing the West End Animal Services Agency. Staff report this evening will be provided by our Assistant City Manager, Jackie Melendez, and our Assistant to the City Manager, Rogelio Huerta.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. The item before you is a proposed agreement between the City of Chino and the City of Ontario for the establishment of the West End Animal Services Joint Powers Authority, or JPA. The City of Chino currently contracts with the Inland Valley Humane Society, or IVHS, to provide animal services, including sheltering, licensing, and low-cost clinics. Recently, staff began evaluating the city's current and future needs for these vital services, including IVHS's ability to provide such services to our growing city. Some of the factors affecting our demand include our population, the addition of new households, the annexation of new areas in the city sphere, and as demonstrated this evening from comments, our community's dedication and love for animals. All of which greatly intensifies our need for animal services and puts further pressure on our current providers' capacity to provide these services. While IVHS is the only provider of such services, city staff evaluated different alternatives to meet this growing need and recommends the formation of a JPA in conjunction with the City of Ontario. The City of Ontario has begun to identify locations for potential animal services sites, which are more central to the City of Chino. If approved, the JPA agencies will pay for the capital and startup costs based on the final agreed upon cost sharing calculation, which currently stands at 65 and a 35 split for the two agencies currently involved as founding members of the JPA. The establishment of a JPA for animal services, which will function as a full-service animal shelter and control agency, requires consideration of several factors. The JPA formation, structure, and governance of the JPA will include one voting member from the City of Chino and two from the City of Ontario to serve as the Board of Directors. These ratios have been negotiated amongst the parties, and if additional parties decide to join the JPA, the governing bodies of each member shall be responsible for appointing one director to the governing board. Additionally, this change will necessitate a recalibration of voting and financial responsibility weights among the other major member agencies. Agencies interested in becoming founding members have until July 2025 to secure their position. Founding members will play a crucial role in the agency by using their voting rights to shape key decisions and policies. They will also own their proportionate share of the animal services facilities, which will tie their success directly to the organization's growth. After this deadline, agencies may still participate, but as contract agencies. If approved, the JPA will require interim leadership, so this action before you tonight requires the authorization of the City of Ontario to serve as interim director and serving as the interim administrator, which will provide staff to fulfill the roles including treasurer, auditor, controller, and secretary, along with other administrative responsibilities. Our contract, also included in the package this evening, includes responsibilities for either agency or another agency to fulfill those roles. This evening, as part of this package, we're asking that we allow the City of Ontario to assume those roles. The current contract with IVHS is set to expire June 30th, 2025. The city has requested a one-year extension to June 30th. This request is currently under evaluation. In terms of anticipated costs, while no funds are requested this evening with this action, estimated costs for the future operation of the Animal Services facility includes capital, startup, personnel, and operational expenses. These costs are outlined in the staff report. The city's share will be 35% of the total amount. For land purchase, design, shelter, construction, and equipment, the cost is estimated at $41 million. This amounts to about $15 million, $435,000 from the city of Chino. Personnel and operational costs. When the facility is operational, personnel and operational costs will include shelter staff, animal control staff, and operations. These costs are estimated to total $6.3 million on an annual basis. The Chino share at the current 35% amounts to $2.2 million. These estimates do not take into account revenues or other operational adjustments meant to reduce the overall annual expenses, nor do these estimates take into account the addition of new member or contract agencies, all of which may further reduce these estimates. These ratios, the 65-35% share, may also change in the future as members join as JPA or contract agencies with other cities are established. Finally, additional state, federal, private, and/or local funds such as grants may also offset many of these figures. Staff recommends the following. 1, the approval of the joint exercise of powers agreement establishing the West End Animal Services Agency. Appoint 1 Chino City Council member and 2 alternatives, first and second, to serve as voting members of the JPA's Board of Directors. 3, agree to allow the City of Ontario to serve as the JPA's interim administrator and to provide administrative services to the agency. Authorize the city manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the city and all other documents as appropriate to carry out the terms of the agreement. This concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer questions you may have regarding this item. Rogelio Huerta is also on hand, as well as our city attorney, if you have questions.
Okay, thank you. Questions or comments? Karen or Chris or Kurt? See you guys writing feverishly. Any comments or questions? Chris?
Sure. One thing I'd like to point out is I think initially, right, when we hear that City of Ontario will have 2 board members and the City of Chino will have 1, it's kind of concerning because there's a lot of power on Ontario's side, at least initially, if no other member agencies join. And I think that exposes us to a lot of liability, and I just kind of wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on that. And a part of your thoughts, if you can also include just a feel for what other agencies have said. I know no one's committed; they have a year to commit, but just if you can kind of touch on that.
Thank you, Mayor and Councilmember Flores. I think it's a very good question. I wouldn't say that it necessarily exposes the city to liability, but it certainly weakens your ability to have decisions made in your favor. The concept of this arrangement really is that additional agencies would join in. And so because Ontario has the 65% contribution towards the development and the creation of this entity and also provision of the land and facility, ultimate development of the facility, they wanted that additional control. You know, relative to Chino's contribution of 35%. Again, as additional agencies join in, their majority becomes weakened. And there are additional voting members that can weigh in on any decision that is made. At the end of the day, this is going to take some time to develop this facility and implement everything. If, as that process is working its way through, if Chino has concerns about the way the governance is actually operating, you have some opportunities to pull out.
And a follow-up question to that would be, so if the City of Ontario and the City of Chino end up as only two member agencies, you know, a year from today, the contracting agencies, they will, if they become contracting agencies, will they have voting power as well, or you have to be in the JPA?
Correct. It's the latter. You'd have to be a member of the JPA to have a voting power.
I have a few more questions, Mayor, but I'll say.
If I may add to, these ratios are also based on use. So Ontario having a larger use and coverage in terms of their need, that also helps to determine where we start in terms of the ratios. So as other agencies come in, if any of them choose to do so, which to the second part of your question, I can't speak to whether other agencies will or will not, but their addition will add, maybe another agency comes in at 15%. That would reduce Ontario's, it could reduce ours, which also reduces our cost as well. So there's also provision that after we're up and operational, after a year, we will reevaluate the uses and look at numbers based on how the need of each of the member agencies.
Thank you for that. And, you know, I do want to back up a little bit, and I want to say, you know, just thank you for the presentation. It was great. It was thoughtful, very detailed. And I do think, you know, a part of, I think you've heard from council many times, you know, we'd like for our staff, right, to go out there and be innovative. And this is definitely something that's innovative. And I see its need, especially for a lot of our residents, you know, in the southern part of Chino, you know, the Inland Valley Humane Society is, you know, it's quite the distance for a lot of those residents down there. So, so I see that benefit as well. But I'll hold off my other comments for now, Mayor. Thank you.
Mark?
Yeah. So I understand Ontario's obviously outgrown them, being as large as they are, and then with Ontario Ranch coming in, and obviously with us also continuing to grow down the preserve and the land that we're annexing, and the fact that Inland Valley has to cover all the way from West Covina and come all the way to us, you know, it's not uncommon that the residents here see dead animals and they sit there for days and weeks, and sometimes they never get picked up at all. So their ability to provide the services, obviously we're probably a little too big and a little too far for them to always have somebody available. So I understand the need of looking at something that will provide better service for our residents. But at the same time, when we look at the dollar figure, Ontario has given us the option to just either pay it off or pay it off over time with zero interest, correct? So they've given us that opportunity that we don't have to at once pay the whole amount, and they'll give us up to 10 years to pay this off at 0% interest. If we're the only two agencies in the GPA, is it only going to be 3 people on the board, or will they eventually bring in other people as well? And how would be the criteria if they do bring in additional people? How would we pick those people? Do you guys have any idea of that?
What we've done currently is we've set a deadline for July 1 to encourage other agencies to come in as founding agency members. That would allow them, like us, to have more control, voting rights on the board. However, at this time, I can't I can't say if any other agencies are going to come on and whether or not that deadline will be extended at a further point out into the future. But the intention is to make sure that if other agencies want to come on board, now is the chance, now is the opportunity, so that they can help with the heavy lift of the upfront costs. That's the intention.
I have nothing else.
Karen?
I agree with Councilmember Flores' comments on this. It's a heavy investment, but I see the demand increasing. From my previous service at the police department, I know that sometimes it's been a challenge for Inland Valley Humane to meet some of our current and growing demands. But I do have a lot of respect for the services that that entity has provided for us. I am a little concerned because there's a lot of members of our community that are heavily connected to Inland Valley Humane for many, many years. So regardless of how we decide to proceed on this tonight, I would just like to see it remain amiable between all the entities, because there's a lot of both personal and professional relationships that have existed between that agency and the city of Chino for many years. But I do see the need for the demand. It's just even though they've framed it right for us to get in on the front end of this, and I see the future need. It's a heavy investment to the community. And I do know that Councilmember Burton has some experience in actually working for that agency after he retired from the police department, so I would be interested to hear his comments as well. So thank you, Mayor.
Kurt?
I was actually not going to make any comments, but I will now. You know, the Inland Valley Humane Society has been around, I believe, since the 1940s. And they have certainly served their communities well over the years. However, you know, with our region growing the way it is, I believe that they just can't meet the demands like they used to anymore. I know they give it their best effort. The leadership has definitely changed in that organization over the last 3-4 years, and that is extremely noticeable. I think that if this were to go forward, that many more communities would be watching to see how things went, and I truly believe that that they would jump on board once they see the success of what I believe would be a very successful venture here.
This is an expensive proposition, but this council, we've done a lot of work looking into the future on what our community is going to look like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. And I think it's really imperative for us to look at how we're going to handle animal needs. We have issues right now, as already been mentioned. I know personally up in our neighborhood, and I know it's not just ours, but we have coyotes. And the Humane Society can't help us. And so we have to contract with a gentleman that contracts with San Bernardino County to take care of coyotes. And they're getting more aggressive and growing in numbers, as well as raccoons. People have problems with animals and they just can't get any help. Skunks, various animals. So, you know, we have some very gracious ladies in our community that are helping with spaying and neutering cats, Donna for one. And they're doing an admirable job, but it shouldn't really be up to our private citizens to try to take care of those kinds of issues. And I believe, looking at some other communities that have very, very active volunteers and donors, it would be beautiful if we could get this going and get a volunteer organization associated with it that would donate and take care of spaying and neutering cats and helping seniors with lower costs for animals. And I just think we could get a lot better service. It is going to be expensive, absolutely. But with Ontario dropping out of the Pomona Valley Humane Society, our contract cost is going to go up. service is not adequate, and it's going to cost us more eventually in the future. And as we know, as everything's going, the more we go into the future, the more expensive everything is. Ontario's been gracious enough to volunteer to foot the whole bill initially and allow us to pay our portion over time. And I just think we have a year to, I guess, totally lock into it, and I think it's worth still exploring. Donna had mentioned an organization called Best Friends. I think she said it's in Utah, about developing a shelter. So I would encourage our staff to get with Ontario and get with that agency to make sure that this is developed properly. Donna keeps waving her hand, so I think she's just going to jump up here and get on the mic whether I call her or not. So, Donna, you might as well go ahead and come up before you have a heart attack. Wait a minute, your mic's not on. Okay.
Okay, I would suggest, since this is an issue that somebody doesn't do every day, the most recent animal shelter I can think of in this area is Rancho. Maybe contact Rancho and ask them, how did you do it? What did you find that worked well? What did you find out that you didn't know that didn't work well? What do you wish you should have done that you didn't? That's the newest shelter around. Upland's got a new shelter, but it's a redo of an old shelter. They haven't started, so I'd pick somebody's brains.
I can assure you that our staff already has been.
Oh, have they? Good.
Yes, this subject has been on the table for quite a while. It's been kicked down now for a couple of years. We've been thinking about how to improve services to our community, and many of our cities in our local area have been talking cooperatively, trying to figure out how we can all provide better service to our communities. So there have been a lot of meetings that have gone on.
Yeah, and it'd be nice if we could educate some of the public more, because if you look at that animal shelter, there's a lot of one-year-old dogs.
I know.
People got those cute little puppies. Now, guess what? They don't love them so much anymore.
No, and people, the other thing that I would hope our shelter would do too is educate people about the breeds. A lot of people see a cute puppy and adopt it, not really understanding at all the needs of that animal. You cannot take a Belgian Malinois and put it in an apartment, nor can you take a husky and put it in a yard that has a 4-foot fence. It isn't going to work.
That cute little puppy we brought home is now 110 pounds. So
Yeah.
I get it.
It
Okay,
happens.
thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Any other comments?
Mayor, I think you make some really good points. Also, I like the idea of, if we were to decide to go with this, we're going to have more local control over animal services and direction, and the ability to direct how we provide services to the community. It's just, it's a big quantum leap in steering away, but as Chris said, it's innovative, and I think a lot of cities on the west end have been trying to rack their brain about how to address this for the better part of almost 10 years now.
Yes.
So anyway, those are my own comments. Thank you.
Okay. Well, with that, then I would encourage a motion and a second for item number 20.
Council, we also need to appoint the members.
Okay, we need 1 or 2 members?
We need a board member and 2 alternates.
4 members?
Board
3
member.
Well, I would suggest that we wait till after the election and when we do the committee assignments.
Do we
Because
need to
a-
have them assigned right now?
Because we have 3 people that are up for election.
I don't know the answer as to whether they need to be assigned right now.
Well, if they, I'm going to make a recommendation. I'm going to make a recommendation because Councilman Burton has experience with IVHS and is familiar with animals. If he doesn't mind, I would like to put him as the main member. Do we need 2 main members or 1?
1 main member and then 2 alternates should the main member not be available.
Okay.
So as a backup.
You made a point about the election. There are 3 of us that are up. Would you like to be an alternate?
Sure.
Okay, so Mark would be an alternate, and I'll volunteer to be an alternate. Is that okay with the board? Council, I mean? Is that okay, Fred?
Yeah, perhaps you can clarify who's first or second alternate, although that may, in all respects, not matter.
Mark can be first alternate, I'll be second alternate.
Thank you.
Curtis will be the main member.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that works because these 2 members are not up for election, so they'll definitely be here. Okay, we have a motion from Councilman Burton, second from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock. Please vote. And the item passes unanimously. Next, under Mayor and Council reports, I'll try to go through mine very quickly. Wednesday, July 3rd, I attended Deputy Chief Andy Bielen's Walk of Honor. This was a tribute to an absolutely amazing, wonderful officer, and we're sure going to miss him tremendously. It's sad to have these retirements happening, doggone it. And then I attended the San Bernardino County Transportation Agency Board of Directors meeting, and I joined the Inland Empire Economic Partnership Legislative Update via Zoom. Thursday, July 4th, I was able to speak at the flag raising ceremony at the Chino LDS Church. I've done this for, oh my gosh, probably 30 years at least, in a long time. Friday, July 5th, I celebrated the senior July birthdays at the Senior Center. Tuesday, July 9th, along with City Manager Reich and Lieutenant Olden and Captain Crowley of our Chino PD, we met with the West End San Bernardino cities to discuss the homeless situation and how we can all work together to acquire funding in order to better address the issues in our part of the county. And we're very hopeful that working together we can obtain funding necessary to accomplish some changes in our area. I'm proud to say that our quality of life team and with Lieutenant Olden and Captain Crowley, our model far exceeds other communities' models. And I believe that many of those agencies are already talking to our team to get some ideas on what to do. So I'm really proud of what we accomplished. Then that afternoon, I attended the CDA Finance Committee. Wednesday, July 10th, I attended the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. Thursday, July 11th, I attended the CDA Board of Directors meeting. Friday, July 12th, I attended the Southern California Water Coalition Executive Committee meeting via Zoom. That evening, I attended the 4-H Future Farmers of America barbecue and auction at the Chino Junior Fairgrounds. Boy, it was really well attended this year with a lot of new faces, but our, I'll call them old-time agricultural supporters were there in mass, even ones that don't even live here anymore. And boy, they really supported those kids. The price of some of those animals was shocking. Those kids are able to buy new animals for next year or put it toward college funds. Years and years ago, our family was fortunate enough to bring to the fairground the idea of add-ons. Our son was in the FFA, and he had attended a sale up in Victorville, and they had a method of adding money to kids' projects without having to buy the animal, because in the past you had to buy the whole animal, whether you know, which not everybody can afford. But you can do add-ons for kids, so you can donate $10, $15, whatever you want to all of them, or individually, whatever you want to do. So that was a lot of fun, and the barbecue was phenomenal. Monday, July 15th, yesterday, along with Councilman Flores and Mayor Pro Tem Comstock, we all came in and pulled our re-election papers. So here we go again. Good luck to all of us. Tuesday, today, I met with staff for an update on the building project on Benson, North Philadelphia, and I received an update on our economic development activities, and then tonight we had a closed session. Mayor Pro Tem Comstock.
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended the Walk of Honor for Deputy Chief Andy Bielen at the Chino Police Department, a good tribute to a man of integrity and honor, and I'm hoping, well, I know he's enjoying his retirement right now in the state of Utah with his family. That same morning, I left to go to the our community garden there right off of Ross and Riverside to read a book to children. I was asked to come out and do so, which I enjoy doing. As you know, that morning it was very hot. We were in the middle of a bad heat wave, and it was about 100 degrees at 10 a.m. So I'm waiting there for kids to show up, and of course, nobody shows up. So I'll take that back. My great niece showed up. I just decided to pack her up and take her home and read in the air conditioning of my own home. So I guess everybody took the morning off. I volunteered to come back another time. On July 10th, I attended the Chino Valley Fire District meeting that evening. It was a great night for the district. Not only did they celebrate several promotions, chief, but also the 9 new recruits that we met this evening at our council meeting. So welcome aboard. I know they're all going to do a great job for our community and the fire district. I also saw a couple members of the fire board here earlier. They may have had to leave, but thank you for attending our meeting here tonight. On July 11th and 12th, I attended the Cal Cities Board of Directors meeting in the city of Pasadena. I just want to say that Cal Cities is really working hard to change their position and their influence and leadership in Sacramento. They have assembled a great leadership team, and they're doing, I think, very good legislative work to help cities maintain local control. Now, that being said, do I or every member of the board agree with every position that Cal City takes? No. But I do think that they are really, really fighting hard when it comes to zoning and housing and sales tax and different things to help maintain some local control. Let me give you an example. There was a piece of legislation on the table to allow for there to be like like they call it a green period for the sale of sales taxes on school supplies for like 60 days during the summer to allow people to replenish school supplies. And upon further legislative review, Cal City was like, hey, that's kind. There's different ways to go about providing school supplies for kids, but they saw it as a slippery slope to start just removing some of those revenue sources from not just businesses but to entities as a slippery slope to biting into some of those things. So, which I agree with them. It's just small work like that I don't think they get credit for. That is actually very good for local communities, and Cal Cities I think is doing the best job that they can given the climate up there. And I enjoy being a member of that board because I learn a lot. On Monday, July 15th, I attended my one-on-one with the city manager and an ad hoc housing element meeting with staff and Councilmember Burton. A recommendation was made to host a community meeting about the 6th cycle of our housing element, which, as you know, we've been struggling to actually get certified with HCD. We actually, in that meeting, was also a member of HCD and our consultant, Nick Chen. I want to thank our staff for the job that they did that day and the work that they did. We actually recommended to the staff that we bring this issue to a community meeting at a later time, which I know staff is presently working on. That brings me to this evening, Mayor, where I attended closed session with the council prior to tonight's meeting. And then I also just want to, extend my congratulations to Lieutenant Brian Cobble for his years of service to the Chino Police Department. I have nothing but good memories of working with Lieutenant Cobble. He's a great man. I've known his family and his kids for a very long time. I wish him the best in his retirement, as well as to Miss Marianne Brown and her husband and family for her service to our Community Services Department and our children in our community. As you can tell from both this man and woman standing up here, although retirement is a wonderful thing, you could see that it's hard for them to leave their Chino family and depart these careers that they've known for so long. But I wish them the best. And I do believe that once they get acclimated to it, Mayor, they will enjoy their retirement. That concludes my report, Mayor. Thank you.
She's still going to volunteer.
Mayor, I'm not surprised, and so is Lieutenant Cobble with the Kiwanis. So that's just the caliber of employees and people we have working in our community.
And the love for the community. Councilman Burton, you have item number 21.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'd like to request approval of community support funds for the Chino Girls Fast Pitch, Chino Community Children's Theater, and the Chino Valley YMCA.
Okay, we need a motion and a second to approve item number 21. We need a motion. There it is. We have a motion from Councilman Flores, seconded by myself. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Your report, sir.
Thank you very much. July 3rd, I also attended the Walk of Honor for Deputy Chief Andy Bieland. Very well attended. It was very nice to see some of the older retirees from the police department come back and join the celebration. It's always good to see that, the camaraderie that goes on, and it is, it is a family within our city environment. you won't see people for years and years and years, and then when you see them, you pick up right where you left off. And it was really nice to see a lot of these older individuals. On the 4th, I celebrated Independence Day with my family out on my driveway, and all of my neighbors. And a lot of my neighbors came to me and thanked the city for putting on the fireworks celebration down at Ayala Park. And they really took advantage of that, just saying how well organized it was, and they felt just incredible to take their families and their friends down there and enjoy that. There were still some pretty big fireworks around my house, but our police department was out there in force along with the fire department, doing the great job that they always do for us, which we appreciated. On the 8th, my weekly meeting with the city manager, and then on the 10th, I attended the mayor's prayer breakfast. On the 15th, I attended the housing element meeting with the mayor pro tem and also the staff. I would highly encourage our community to get involved in this workshop that we're planning to have input on what goes on in our city. It's real easy for people to stand and shoot from the hip and say, I think we ought to do this, I think we ought to do that. But you need to come to these workshops and provide your input, because that's where things change and some really good ideas come out of workshops, folks. So I would highly encourage you to attend that when that comes up. Later that day, I attended my weekly meeting with the city manager, and then today, closed session prior to the council meeting. I'd also like to say congratulations to Mary Ann Brown for her service to our city for the years that she was here, and Lieutenant Brian Cobble. I have known him since the day he walked in the door. We worked together for many, many years. He was my next door neighbor at one point. So I had an opportunity to see his family grow. And it grew, and it grew, and it continued to grow. And it was really neat to see that happen. Unfortunately, they moved to another city because they outgrew their house. So congratulations to Lieutenant Cobble. It's going to be really exciting to see what he does during his retirement. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Okey-doke. Councilman Flores, you got item number 22.
I do, thank you, Mayor. And item 22, I'm asking for approval of community support contributions to the Love Them All Foundation and to Adrian's World.
Okay. Motion from Mayor Pro Tem Comstock and Councilman Burton is the second. Please vote. Item passes unanimously. Your report.
Right, thank you for the support. On the 3rd of July, I attended the Walk of Honor for Deputy Chief Andy Bielan as well. Those are always enjoyable, and I'll keep them at that. Congratulations to Deputy Chief for an amazing, successful career, and I think the importance of that retirement was that you retired, in good health. I think that's very important. On the 9th of July, I attended the Special Needs Collaborative Event Planning. And the support funds that were just approved are going towards that special needs collaborative event that's happening in September, the first annual, and we're excited about that. And I just want to end with 2 comments. Chief, thank you for bringing the new recruits up and introducing them. When I look at these young men, I just think you guys are hiring the best over there. I mean, they look really, really fit, strong, and smart, and so thank you for doing that. And the utility art projects. So you've probably seen a couple utility arts projects around town, and there's a lot of comments about that, but my comments about it are this. They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So when you're looking at the art projects, I just want you to know that the art project is from our youth in town. So when our youth make art, make their art, and the utility boxes are their art, it's beauty. And in those situations, beauty is not in the eye of the beholder. So anyways, I just want to thank our staff for the first unveiling of the first 4 utility boxes and many more to come. And we're excited about that. But with that being said, Mayor, that concludes my comments.
Councilman Lucio.
Yes. On July 9th, I attended my meeting with the city manager. That same day, the assistant city manager and myself toured the Carpenters Union over in Ontario and saw their how they trained their new carpenters coming in and their internship programs as well as their apprenticeships. Later that day, I also had a meeting with the Fragas, with Mayor Pro Tem Comstock. Many of you may not know, but we always have a car at the Demolition Derby, which is going to be this Saturday. And we do it to feed families during Thanksgiving. And so our goal this year was to feed 500 families. We are off to a good start. We're about $12,000 in fundraising as a result of the car. So I wanted to thank some of our sponsors, Majestic Realty, Lewis Communities, Farmer Boys, the Police Association Management, and the Police Officers Association. Mike Bedard's family, Chino Valley Fire Association as well, Supervisor Kurt Hagman, Fraga Realty, Pro Towing, Karen, Mayor Pro Tem Karen Comstock, and our EMT staff here also donated money, as well as our city attorney, his firm, and Love Foundation and Waste Management. So based on all the donations that we got, we've already raised $12,000. We're hoping to do another $3,000 to $5,000 and be able to feed 500 families during Thanksgiving. So I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. And I also put the pressure on my daughter, said, hey, we'll get more money if you actually place this year. So we're hoping to place this year. And then I just wanted to say on the 15th, I took my son Gavin to the Chino PD Kids Academy. He had a great time, so he just wanted me to let you guys know. I asked him, well, what did you like about it? He said he liked everything about it. So you guys put him through some simulator that he was very, very, very impressed that how you guys did that, and he really had a good time. So I just wanted to say thank you. And if anybody has any kids out there, that you should put your kids through there just so that they build relationships with our police officers, and they don't just talk to them when something bad happens, but they also see them as regular people and build relationships with them when they see them. On the 16th, I had a meeting with the assistant city manager today, and then later on that day, I went to go try a new restaurant that opened here in Chino, which was Prime Mexican restaurant, which is located at the Promeda, right off of Philadelphia, right next to the Movies 8. I will say their food was outstanding, so if you guys have an opportunity to go eat there, try them out. Sam was an original manager of the Marie Calendars that was located across the street. This is his first venture as a business owner, so he decided to come back to Chino. His wife also works there, but very friendly people, and like I said, the food was outstanding. And then earlier today, I attended closed session, and I also want to say congratulations to William Coble and to Mary Ann Brown as well for her years of service, and for both of them for providing service here to the city of Chino. And on National Night Out, I won't be attending. I'm going to be a +1 for my wife, so I won't be in town, but I just want to let you guys know that I definitely wish I could have been here. It's something that I enjoy going to every year. You guys do a great job bonding with the community, and you guys do it like nobody else, but I'm really going to be sad to miss that, but that's all I have for today.
Okay. Assistant City Manager Melendez.
Thank you, Mayor. The only item that I have is an announcement for, under Director's Report, we'll receive a report from Hae-Jin Lee, our Public Works Director.
Okay. City Attorney Galante.
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the council. Just a minor correction to my report out of closed session on the labor negotiations with the city manager's contract. I said that the cash out of holiday was 15.5 hours. It should have been 15.5 holidays. So just a minor correction there. No further report. Thank you.
Okay. Chief Minson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few things to go over this evening. First, our 4th of July deployment. We were quite busy that evening. Our deployment time, we had a large contingency of officers working that night. We started at 6 p.m. and went till about 1 o'clock in the morning. We responded to 240 calls for service related to fireworks, a total of 402 26 total calls. We issued 59 citations for illegal fireworks. We responded to 12 fires, and I know Chief Williams will talk a little bit more about that. And we had one person that was seriously injured from discharging illegal fireworks. So it was a very busy evening for the men and women of the Chino Police Department and the fire department. The next thing I want to go over, just an update on the California Institution for Men and the condemned inmate, death row inmates that are there. So when this program, we were first made aware of when it kicked off, there was over 600 condemned inmates that need to be transferred throughout the state from San Quentin. We were anticipating the ratio to be that we were going to receive close to probably about 100, if not a few more. We, as you know, we did our press conference. We've sent quite a few letters to the governor. We sent a petition with over 3,700 signatures from the community. And the number of total condemned inmates that are there now is 46 and we believe that's going to be close to our final amount. There's a small contingency, some that need to be transferred out, but we think we're going to be right around that 46 number. So obviously we want none. We do think, though, that our efforts and our letters and everything that we sent, the 46 is obviously much better than the 100 that we were anticipating. So we're still working with the prison and the warden more with operational issues that are taking place or is in connection with them. So then I know I've talked about those in the past. And then yesterday, so we responded to a residential burglary that was in progress in the 4400 block of Philadelphia. A resident came home and their house was being burglarized. They immediately called 911. Our officers started responding. The analysts working in our real-time crime center picked up the suspect on our cameras, our intersection cameras there at Ramona, Philadelphia, saw him entering into an apartment complex, and then later saw them jumping a fence and running southbound Ramona Avenue, trying to hide under the overpass of Ramona and the 60 freeway. Directed officers, and he was immediately apprehended. We also believe he's wanted for connection to another commercial burglary in our city, and he was on parole for burglary. So it was a great, he's not from Chino. It was a great case, great job by the technology that we have, but great story there, but I want to continue it. We have some new leadership with our Chino Police Officers Association with some promotions, and Corporal Alex Wright, who is now our CPOA president. So what our CPOA did yesterday after this is today, during the burglary, there's 4 kids that live there, and their piggy banks were literally broken, and the money was stolen by this suspect. And we weren't able to recover it. We don't know where he put it. So the association on their own, they went to Target, they bought a bunch of gift cards, they bought some piggy banks, and today they went to the family and presented them all to the kids. It was outstanding. So I think just obviously goes to show what the men and women of the Chino Police Department, obviously catching the suspect was one thing, but taking it to the next step and the community outreach led by the leadership of our POA. And then just lastly, with the retirement of Deputy Chief Andy Bielen, had the opportunity to make quite a few promotions that day, but I want to talk about my new executive leadership team. So promoted Nick Murata to Deputy Chief and Ryan Crowley to Captain. So we're excited for us to lead the police department moving in the future. So I know that's a lot of information there I shared, but I hope if you have any questions for me.
Kevin, is there any hope of upgrading the CIM facilities with all the pressure that we tried to put on the governor?
So I know the warden met with the congresswoman, and I know there was discussion on funding. We gave our suggestions where we think the funding should go towards, and specifically like security cameras. When I went on the tour, the condition of the overall facility, the streets, the roads within, obviously is in needs significant money to bring it up. So, I think it's going to continue to go on putting pressure on the governor and the state, which obviously with all the financial challenges the state's having right now. So, don't know.
Well, I sure hope we keep the pressure on, because if we back off, they're just going to tuck it in the back room and forget about it. Mm-hmm. And we don't want that.
No.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions or comments? Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Hey, Jen. Yes. Director of Public Works. Little Energizer Bunny.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. I have 3 updates for you tonight. One thing that I think all the community has been waiting for is what's happening with our Ramona closure. So I have some update for you. Last week, a company called Below was able to do some sonar type of investigation on underground on what's going on. So they found some anomalies underground, and they marked them out in the field. We met with our contractor, Hardy and Harper, and their subcontractor, and we have a game plan on how we're gonna address the repairs for the work that the water main break that broke about a month ago. And we suspect that there are more voids underneath Ramona, so that's what the Below company was able to identify. So the update that we want to bring you tonight is we are going to be having a community meeting to inform our residents in the community just to the west. And we are going to be having that community meeting on Thursday evening from 5:30 to 6:30 at one of their HOA community room. And the address is at 4300 Heather Circle in Chino, California. And they graciously allowed us to use their HOA, I think it's a club room, to able to host their meeting there. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to be addressing the void that was left as a part of the water main break first. That's the area that's closed front of Marigold. And we are also going to be identifying the anomalies that are found by the Below, and we're hoping to be able to open up one lane in each direction by not next week, but following week. So as we are making progress, I'm sure we'll find more. We have to expose actually what's going on underground because we don't know. We only know by images. But once we actually identify what's going on, we'll have some better game plan on how we're going to be restoring some of those voids. So that's kind of what's going on. And we believe that by next Monday, the contractor is able to mobilize, and they're going to work all the way through the weekend, just so that we could make progress in making sure we open up at least one lane in each direction. So if anyone is interested, we have some flyers that was also distributed to not only to all the residents. Actually, the HOA helped us get the word out, but we are also going to invite the businesses on Ramona as well as the school district. The reason why we're going to allow the contractor to work around the clock is we want to accommodate for the imminent school starting in the next couple of weeks. And we also have Buena Vista High School that has a summer program going as well. So we want to make sure we open up the lanes as soon as possible.
So they're going to work around the clock?
Yes, they're going to work Monday through Saturday.
Do the neighbors that are backing on to Ramona know the work's going to go on 24 hours a day?
No, it's not going to be 24 hours, but we're going to allow them to work probably starting around 7 till probably around 5:30 or 6 o'clock.
Okay, you said around the clock, but you don't really mean around.
Not around the clock, but extended hours, also on Saturday. Typically, we don't allow work on Saturdays, but on this case, we think it's warranted.
Okay, just extended hours, not
Yes,
around the
extended hours, yes. Thank you for that clarification. Another one I want to bring it to your attention is Merrill Avenue. I know a couple of years ago when we had some construction on Merrill, there were some extensive detours. The Merrill Avenue will once again be closed due to a development work in Ontario. The developer, Rita, they're building some warehouses in the city of Ontario, and as part of that condition for that work, they have to improve Euclid intersection, and also to, I believe it's a Stearman that has access to the Yanks Air Museum. So that area will be closed. It's not the whole stretch of Merrill that will be closed, but it's about 700-800 feet of Merrill that will be closed to make sure they have concrete pavements and the utility work that needs to be done in that vicinity. As a part of that closure, we've been working with Flows and Airport to make sure they have access at all times. I recall last time when the Merrill was closed, Eucalyptus wasn't open, but now Eucalyptus is open and Sultana is open. So there are other roads that are available for detours. So we will be making sure that all the detour signage is properly signed, and we'll have some additional signs to let our patrons know that Flows and other businesses in the airport will be accessible at all times.
How long is this closure going to last?
So the closure is going to begin on July 25th, and anticipated opening is November 31st, but we think that it could actually be sooner. The reason why they wanted to start as soon as possible is they don't want to get into the rainy season. So they want to do the work while it's still dry. But we think that if everything goes well, they might be able to get it done early, but they wanted to reserve just in case they find some unknown conditions as they're doing the work. They want to reserve some additional time. That's why they're extending it to November. But we're hoping sooner.
Well, Flows was really hurt by the last closure.
Yes, so
I know
our
they're
staff,
dreading this one.
yes, our staff personally met with their manager and the owner, and they were very appreciative of the fact that we actually gave them an advance notice about what was going on. And Dennis and Albert have personally shared their contact information, so if there's any questions, that they have direct access to city staff. And we also conditioned Rita, the developer, to put up additional signage for our businesses, and they agreed to do that as well.
Okay. Yeah, I got a call about it. They're pretty concerned.
Yes, they are.
obviously.
Yes, and we will be making sure that their concerns are addressed with the circulation, and they will have access. And it will not be as bad as last time because all the other parallel roads and access roads are open for detours.
Well, at least with Eucalyptus, hoping it'll make it easier to get there.
Yes, and Sultana is open, Grove is open, and Flight. They're all access routes.
Karen?
Thank you for that, Hadrian. I would just say to our community, you heard when the mayor actually honored them as the business of the month.
Yes.
That's a long-standing community business in town that's been here for a very long time. It's remarkable how the closure of one street in a small section will impact businesses. It just seems like people don't want to go that direction because of the construction or, as the members of the Chino Police Department can attest, if you close a lane down, it seems like people have a very difficult time finding an alternative route. I would just say during this time period, if there's a way that people can find their way down there and patronize that business, we would certainly appreciate it, and I know the Flows would appreciate it. So thank you.
Yes, and city staff, even public works staff, have promised to go and patronize. Maybe we'll have our staff meetings there for breakfast.
Yeah, it's kind of just a shout out to the community. I know a lot of people don't eat out as often or for whatever reason, but if you can and you can make it there, I'm sure they would appreciate it.
Yes, we're committed to that. Yes, and one more. This is actually another good news. Legacy Academy, it's a new school in Preserve, opened on July 8th. That's a K through 8 year-round school. And our traffic team was out there also with our PD. And the traffic circulation, I think it was crowded, but it actually went quite well. And we also learned that we built the sidewalk from the East Preserve Loop to the Main Street all the way. And they are not widely used right now, but we're hoping that maybe when it cools off, maybe they will. But we do have a crossing guard and sufficient signage to make sure that circulation is going well. And so far it's been going very well.
Good. Thank you very much for the info.
Yes, thank
Any
you.
questions of Jen?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chief Williams?
Mayor, Council, really wanted to just say thank you for allowing me to bring my personnel here tonight. As you can see, they come from all over to come here to Chino Valley Fire District. We had one from Montana, one from Alaska, one whose family still currently lives in Texas as he tries to navigate what that looks like for him going forward. So we're very fortunate. I can tell you I've been out to the training center several times. I haven't seen a group of young men come together and be so cohesive so quickly. And they all come with very limited experience, but they're learning super quick. So I'm super impressed by this particular group. I think they're going to add tremendous value to the community. To dovetail on Chief Menson's report, only other thing I'd add is we collected over about 310 pounds of fireworks. We did respond to 13 fires. One was in the adjoining city next door. One of those fires was fairly significant. The other ones we would just consider nuisance fires, trash cans, things like that. But we did have a fairly significant grass fire down in the south part of Chino. And then several of the folks that did receive citations did receive the $1,000 fine. So I think that's all I have to report unless you had any specific questions.
I'm curious. One of the firefighters lives in Texas. Is he going to commute?
He's not going to commute. He's navigating that. He's from here. Actually, he's a long-time AMR employee and know him well. He's just with the move over here. He's got. I think in his case, he has several children, 4 or 5. So they're just trying to figure out how to make that happen. But no, he's committed to being here, and I really brought it up just to show that people are committed to want to be here. And he's made the commitment on the front side, and he's going to navigate the rest of that process as he goes forward. He's living here, but his family, unfortunately, has to stay back for now. And I certainly can understand and appreciate the sacrifices that he's willing to make this place his home.
Because that's a long distance.
Yeah, it's public safety with the scheduling, probably more the fire service. You're seeing probably more and more of that. As a fire chief, it can be challenging because we recognize the level of the community involvement even outside of your normal work hours. And so when folks make decisions that we really don't have any control over to live long distances, it can create challenges. However, we do have one employee that's lived in Washington for the last 10 years, and he's at everything. He's committed, and you'd think he lived around the corner. So.
It just concerns me if there's an emergency. I mean, you obviously can't call them in at the last minute.
No, you can't.
Not when they live that far away. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Chief, have they broken ground on your new station yet?
No, a quick update on that. No, we finished our request for qualifications for the GC, so we have the qualified list there. But as you can imagine, unlike the city, we've never built our own facility on the city of Chino. We've always had the city take the lead. In Chino Hills, they've built them and then deeded them over, and so we now own the properties. So one thing that we discovered in this process is that we really don't necessarily have the bandwidth from a time constraint and or maybe even the knowledge point to really manage this project on our own. So we've made the decision, went to my board to make a request to build out another RFQ for project management / construction management lead. So really what we need is someone to be our advocate to work between a GC once we get to that point and the architect to make sure that we get the best product for the community. So I'm hopeful and thinking that we're probably 30 to 60 days. I mean, I hate to speculate because you never know, but unfortunately the dirt's not being moved around. But we're getting closer.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much. You know, I do want to mention that I think PD using drones this year, I believe it really helped with the fireworks. Our neighborhood wasn't quite the war zone that it's been in the past. And I think it's because people knew you were watching, which was a big relief. We had some, but not to the extent before. And it just was horrible before. But it was a lot less this year, so congratulations on using drones. Also, I'd like to mention something that we all know what happened Saturday night with an attempted assassination on a past president. There are a lot of emotions running high, obviously. This is an election year, and there's quite a bit of controversy, but you know, I would like to ask all of us if you're inclined to keep our company in prayer. We need it. We really need it. We need God's help to calm everybody down. It's not the American way to kill somebody just because you disagree with them. You know, we need to get back to the old-fashioned, you can agree to disagree and do it with class. it's gotten so bad anymore that if you disagree with someone, the hate is incredible. It's unbelievable to me that we have gotten to that point to where people can't even treat each other decently if you have a difference of opinion. And it's just not the American way. And it just breaks my heart to see what's happening. We need to take a deep breath, and we need to remember who we are and how our country was founded and what it was, the principles that it was founded on. And just get back to some of the principles that we've lost. So I would just ask us all to take a deep breath, stand back, and say a prayer. We need God's intervention. That's my personal belief. Because it's just not going well. We're going down a slippery slope, and it scares me to death that we're not going to get it back. So it's going to take each of us. We live in a very special community, and I've always felt personally that God has an umbrella over this community because we have not suffered a lot of the horrible things that our neighboring communities have even suffered, and I believe that there's a reason for that. So I just plead with you all, bring back humanity, say a prayer, and let's just hope that Jesus is kind and we get back our humanity. And with that, I will adjourn this meeting to September 3rd at 6 p.m. with closed session no earlier than 4. But I do have a question. Shouldn't we be adjourning to our workshop?
I believe that's a joint meeting workshop, is it not?
But it is, but it's a public workshop, so shouldn't we be adjourning to that since we're all going to attend it?
Technically, the meeting should just adjourn. We're separately noticing it, so it's actually not legally relevant, but, pardon? It's a regular meeting? In September, that's correct.
So we're going to
The
adjourn to
announcement
a
was
regular
correct.
meeting, but we will be having a workshop that we will notify later. Okay, all right, with that, we are adjourned.